Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever you guys are. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So, I'm gonna talk about ZZZ Zero so far, and the game has come out. It's been like a couple of months since the game came out, so I'm here to talk about it because we've given it some time. I've given it some time, and I think I'm finally ready to talk about it. Or at least, just from my experience. So the first thing is the combat. The combat, I mean, there's nothing much to talk about it. It's just, obviously, the parry system is one of the star of the combat system. It's one of the things that makes the combat different from any other gacha games nowadays. And then there's also the switch system, which is also very cool. I don't know if you count the parry system as switching. I think it is, right? Yeah, okay. So switching is just parry, but then there's also switching from, you attack enemies, and then there would be this screen that would pop up, and then you can switch to other member of your parties. But yeah, those are the two things I think that stands out the most from their combat system. But that's the good part of it. So the bad part of their combat system, I think, is the fact that there's too much mashing of buttons. Now, granted, all action gacha games require you to mash buttons. Also, maybe some other gacha games outside of gacha games requires you to mash buttons. But here's the thing: some action games gives you combos, right? Let's say you do light attack, light attack, light attack, and then heavy attack, and then blah 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 blah, so on. You get it, right? But in ZZZ Zero, I think there are some characters that have combos. Like for example, I think Anby has some combos where if you do, say, two light attacks and then two light attacks to one heavy attack, she'll do, like different animations. And if you do three light attacks, four light attacks into heavy attacks, you'll get different animation again. But for the other characters, say the characters that I've been using a lot are, I think, Alan and my, what's her name? What's his name? The guy with tall hair. I think Anthony, was it? Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those Bella Bach industries characters. So Alan doesn't have like a special, three light attacks to heavy attacks combo. No. But sure, she has the charge attack. She has, the passive that gives her ice infusion to your weapon if you do the charge attack. But I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but it gets tiring, because outside of that, you're mostly just mashing your left mouse click. Just like Anthony and other DPS, mostly I think. I mean, granted, I only have I'm only using like two different kinds of DPS character because, man, raising a character is expensive. But yeah, that's combat. So now I want to move on to the story. So story in Zone Zero, so far so good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good, but I think when it comes to story, I think it always comes down to each person because for me, I feel like I'm getting burnt out of the story somehow. Uh, I remember when the game first came out, I would rush the story because it was very interesting. But then at some point, it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like a job, you know? Like, there are times when I just feel like I would click the skip button, and then I would just read the like the conclusion, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's enough, because I don't feel like reading through all that. I'm not saying the story is bad, so that's why I said it might be just a personal thing. And then the next part, I think, is the final one, which is it is the relic, or whatever you call it in Zone Zero. Oh boy, I think relics or equipments are like the worst part of gacha games, or at least the gacha games that have equipment or relics, which I think most of them have. But yeah, it's always the worst part, because you either gotta grind your ass off every day, probably wasting, well, not wasting, but probably using all your daily energies towards a routine cleanup or farming your relics, but get nothing in the end, right? Which is what I've been experiencing for the past, I don't know, probably like 2 to 3 weeks. Like, I've been trying to give my Alan like the best equipments possible, but dude, I don't know why, but in Zone Zero, farming for equipments feels like it's 10 times harder than in Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. And I think I've talked about this before regarding relic farming in Genshin Impact and how terrible it is. But I don't know what it is with Zone Zero, but it's really, really bad. Granted, it might very well be just me being very unlucky, but dude, um, I think I can show you guys here some of the equipments that I've been farming, or some equipments that I have farmed, and dude, I cannot get a single good equipments out of, say, like 5 runs of routine cleanup, right? I would get like defense main stat, which is I think one of these 6 equipments has defense as the main stat, and then there's also one of the 6 equipments that has like ice damage boost. You know how it goes, right? But it always gives me like the worst possible main stat and substats. It would give me, say, HP main stat, and then okay, that's not. It could be worse, right? And then you see the substats. It would be like defense, HP, or defense, HP, defense. Like it would keep going. It would keep giving me the worst relics or equipments for the next God knows how many runs, right? I think I remember spending all my what are those called, like batteries, just to do routine cleanup, because I thought it would be worth it to like do routine cleanup and then get the golden equipments, and then I would trade it to the music store. But oh man, that is also not the best idea, because I think you need like 50 golden discs for you to guarantee I think a main stat that you want. But yeah, in conclusion, I think the worst part about any gacha games are their equipments, gear, relics part, right? It's the worst part of gacha games. You either gotta spend everything, every bit of energy into farming equipments or gears, or you can just have fun, play with your waifus, but enjoy it with your whatever kind of equipments you have, and pray to God that you kill the enemies. But yeah, I think that's all about I have to say. There's no hate whatsoever into this video. I love Zone Zero, I love Gendo. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Maybe you guys have other things you want to say to get off your chest. I'll gladly read it. And yeah, alright then. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.